Welcome back to Society Case Files. My name is Robert, and today I want to talk about Xbox Game Pass and some of these other subscription services as well. If you like this kind of content and you want to see more, please subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. Otherwise, I'm going to dive right in. If you haven't noticed, Microsoft decided to increase the price of Xbox Game Pass, in some cases up to 50%. So Game Pass Ultimate has gone from $20 to $30. The PC version has gone from like 12 to 16, I think it was. And I think the other one stayed the same. Can't remember specifically. But this increase came with the problem that they are no longer offering discounts for DLC with your membership. So basically, they're stating that you're getting 400 games for your subscription, and they're committing to putting out like 72 titles in a year or something. I can't remember what it was. The thing is, I've had Game Pass for a long freaking time, and I'll admit it, I've played some great games with it. I got to do Avowed. I played Payday 3, which admittedly was not necessarily well received, but I had fun with it for free. And then there was Atomfall. So I've played a bunch of games that at least I looked forward to, and in some cases they were hits for me. In some cases I was like, meh, not the best. And I guess my big problem is that in all the time I've had it, I can only remember 5, maybe 6 games that I've played on it in the last year and a half, and nothing on the Xbox. In fact, when this notice came out and I saw that my fee was going up to $30, I realized I hadn't even turned on the Xbox in a long time. I couldn't remember how long. So when I went to check, my controller was completely dead, and the Xbox was woefully out of date. So much so that when I went to factory reset it, I had to update it to get it current before it would even go online. So I think that's pretty much standard if you just fall outside of the update schedule. But I was at least a year and a half out of date on it. So because I hadn't used it ever in the last while, I think the last time I played it was Cyberpunk, to be honest, in earnest. I did try some stuff. Like, for example, I was playing one of those games, the Star Wars Outlaws. I was playing it on the PC, and it's cross-platform, so I was able to load it up on the Xbox, and I tried it for like 20 minutes. But I didn't really get into it. For whatever reason, I just pretty much want to play games on the PC right now, or in general, and that's been true for quite a while. So I ended up actually selling my Xbox and downgrading my Xbox Game Pass to the PC-only version, which, you know, it's still $16 that I may or may not use, but looking ahead, there are a few titles I'm kind of excited about. For example, Outer Worlds 2, I'm interested in trying that one, the same way I did the first one, which was with Game Pass. And I don't know. We'll see what happens. I'm on the fence on whether or not I will continue to use it after Outer Worlds 2. And I'm curious what other people think. I mean, this was a pretty significant price hike with a demotion of benefits. And considering that other companies have subscription models similar to this, like Ubisoft has theirs, but in that game, or in their games, they give you basically the best version of the game, so with everything that comes out for it, and like if there is early start, they offer you that too for the most part. And even EA offers you the best version of the game. Like, for example, when I wanted to try Battlefield 6, I grabbed my EA Play Pro account, the names, and I just restarted it, and I was playing it. Now, that's like $16 a month. I generally only spend month to month. The one time I did use a whole year for EA, and that actually worked out well for me that year. But for the most part, I play games in a way that, like, I'll become pretty obsessed with it if I like it, and I can usually get through it and play whatever I want out of a game in 2, maybe 3 weeks. Sometimes they get me for 2 months to get through a whole game, but that was not the case with Avowed. I pretty much beat that in a week, and Outer Worlds 1, I beat in like 6.5 hours or something, because if you're a jerk in that one, you can actually get really far really quick. Yeah, I actually have that whole playthrough on my channel. That was one of my early videos before I really started doing this in earnest, and it was absolutely absurd. But I guess my point is that Xbox Game Pass is like the lesser of these different subscription services. Everybody who offers them offers a better version. Now, do they have the diversity of games? Yeah, probably not. You end up having to spend, 2 subscriptions worth. But if, like, let's say you had to do both Ubisoft and EA to get a bunch of games, you'd be spending just $2 more than Game Pass Ultimate. Now, supposedly Game Pass does include EA Play. It doesn't include EA Play Pro, so I'm not sure that you're getting as much value out of it. For example, I went and checked to see if I had access to Battlefield 6, and I did not. So, which is kind of funny because even having EA Play on Game Pass is kind of weird because you've got a competition there since Battlefield 6 and Call of Duty are considered going head-to-head. Now, with Game Pass, you do get access to Call of Duty, which, if you're looking forward to that, that's cool. I played the beta, and I'm kind of looking forward to it. There are some other games. Of course, I'd already bought these games, so it's a little harder for me to look at them as a benefit. But, if you haven't bought them, you've got Darktide is on there. I think Rogue Trader is on there. Diablo 4. Some of the other Blizzard titles are on there. And so you do have quite a few options that, they're not cutting edge and brand new anymore, but they are available and they're cool. So the thing is, if you're going to have it anyway to play your Xbox or whatever, and in some cases, I think you need to have Xbox Game Pass in order to play online on Xbox. It's been that long since I played on Xbox to know that for sure. I'm pretty sure that's true. And since you do need it anyway, then I can see you having to pay it and having those games. Why not, right? But if you're playing on PC and you do primarily play on PC, then Game Pass Ultimate is kind of a ripoff. Yeah, there's extra games, but a lot of those are going straight to the console anyway, so you're not really going to be able to enjoy them on the PC anyway if you don't have one. So, I don't know. In a way, I've also thought of this in the fact that PlayStation doesn't offer their version of the Game Pass. They had a thing where you had access to some massive library, but it was way different. It wasn't like brand new games like Xbox flouts. I don't know. It seems like such a bad idea to increase the price and demote the benefits. In some ways, they're Xbox clients, if I was right about you needing to have the subscription play online, and the more I'm thinking about the more I feel that's true, then I guess they don't really care because Xbox players are just going to keep doing it. But as my friend said, it really does feel like they're trying to kill the Xbox and that service. I mean, juicing that price up to $30, it's starting to get a little pricey to have subscriptions. I mean, if you've got Netflix, you're spending probably around $27 if you want 4K delivery and no ads. If you want Hulu without ads and you're going to bundle in, say, the Disney Channel and HBO Max, you're spending another $30. I think it went up to $32 now for all of those. So now we're at like $90 a month to play some video games and watch a couple of streaming services. And that's not including your Prime account and whatever else you might have, whether it be AMC Plus or Paramount Plus or, too many services plus. So I don't know. I think that in an environment where everybody wants your subscription dollar, I think that it's just a little greedy for them to be playing this game. And I guess, they're looking around watching everybody else do it, but they haven't really provided the kind of service that makes it feel necessary to give them that money. So I downgraded mine, and if you don't need that, if you don't have an Xbox or you don't play your Xbox much, I would encourage you to downgrade too. Not out of a protest per se, but just for the fact that they're not really delivering anything worth that extra money, in my opinion. But what do you guys think? Does this price increase matter? Does it make sense? Does it make you mad? Let me know in the comments. But anyway, this is Robert with Society Case Files, signing off.